All right, we're going to take a look at The View here, which I normally... Who the hell watches this show? Bunch of, clucking hens watch this show. But Tomi Lahren is on the show, and we're going to get to a couple of snippets here. So let's take a look.
Why do you think you've resonated with so many people?
I think, in large part, I represent Middle America. So you've got the two coasts, and those individuals seem to kind of just talk to each other. And then you've got all of Middle America right there that's dying to have a voice. They don't really feel like they have one. They're not represented, beyond their communities. So I think they watch me and they say, well, she speaks like I do. She thinks like I do. She seems to maybe get it like I do. And I think that's why it's resonated. And also, I do something very different. There's not a whole lot of young conservative women out there. And so I provide that for a lot of...
The reason why you're so popular, Tommy, is because you're hot. And that's why. As far as young conservative women, there's a lot of young conservative women. They're just not in the media spotlight. Another person, Liz Wheeler, you can find all these attractive conservative women. They just haven't hit it big yet.
President Trump's travel ban 2.0, because this is the second one, was blocked earlier this week. 6 federal judges now have said that it's unconstitutional. But you support his plan. Are all those judges wrong?
I believe so. I don't believe it's unconstitutional. They're going with the Establishment Clause, but I think folks fail to also remember that the Establishment Clause in the Constitution doesn't cover non-citizens, A, and B, he is under his, and I think you could maybe attest to this as well, it is under his jurisdiction to be able to do this. He is able...
But didn't he shoot himself in the foot when he said a Muslim ban? Come on.
But this isn't a Muslim ban. This isn't a Muslim ban.
No, Joy, he did not shoot himself in the foot because, he wasn't talking specifically. He was talking to the people in plain English, in plain language, and we all, why is it that we understand what the hell he's saying, but you guys don't? You were taking him literally word for word, and you're not seeing the overall big picture. And, Joy on the left here, she's a avid Trump hater. Like, she hates Trump to the core. And I don't know how she got her career as a comedian because she's not very funny. The other chick, Sunny Hostin, she's a black racist. I mean, if you've seen her on CNN, she's toned it down quite a bit here on The View. But she's like, like a lot of the other black people that they have on CNN, and they're racist. They're just flat out racist. And I've seen Sunny Hostin, along with Don Lemon, without any makeup on. For some reason, they put on this light-skinned makeup. And I've seen both of them without makeup on, and they are as dark as Whoopi Goldberg.
Well, no, unless all the Muslims in the world have been able to pack themselves into 6 countries, this is not a Muslim ban. For a Muslim ban, India would be included. It's a high Muslim population. So, to me, this isn't a Muslim ban.
Does it bother you that he leaves out, like, Saudi Arabia, where he has a business?
No, I agree. I definitely think Saudi Arabia should be included. I agree.
There's Joy pointing out, well, he's got a business there, and that's why he left out Saudi Arabia. Well, Saudi Arabia contributed millions and millions of dollars to the Hillary campaign, and I don't see you complaining about that, Joy. You don't seem to be mentioning that very often. This whole idea of this travel ban is to secure our nation, and it's temporary. It is not permanent. You're talking about a 3-month extension. To verify people, to vet them. It's not a permanent ban to where people from those countries can't come into our country. It's just an extended vetting period.
You have to name the enemy. That doesn't mean all Muslims are the enemy. When we look at these 6 countries, we can see they have a serious problem with terrorism. They have a serious problem with extremism, and it's Islamic extremism. We need to be honest. If we can't be honest, we're going to continue to chase our tails, and Americans aren't going to be safe, and Muslims are not going to be safe.
We're going to continue to chase our tails because of the military-industrial complex makes huge amounts of money anytime there is a war. And it's going to go on because the military-industrial complex and all the rich gazillionaires, they make huge amounts of money. This is one thing I still don't understand, why the left have this huge problem with the right calling these terrorists, these jihadists, these radicals. We call them radical Islamic terrorists. We're identifying them. We're not talking about all Muslims. We're not saying, all Muslims are the problem. We're saying the radical ones. So you think the Democrats, you think the left would be open to that suggestion, because we are identifying the people that are the problem. We're not saying all Muslims are the problem. We're saying the radical ones are.
And I also think it's important to point out that President Obama's
Obama.
President Obama's
We're talking
CIA,
about Trump.
but I'm talking about President Obama's CIA director.
Yeah.
He came out and said, "I see no ties. I see no collusion here." So
She thought that Tomi was going to talk about Obama in some negative fashion. She was just merely trying to mention one of Obama's appointees, and Joy there, she jumped the gun. She's so eager. Oh, don't you say anything about my Obama. Well, Tomi really didn't. She was referring to one of Obama's appointees, but you had to open your big mouth because you've got a hair trigger.
when Obama's acting CIA director comes out and says, "I see no evidence that there's ties,"
There's no
between
evidence of wiretapping either.
But
Right.
that's
Are you shitting me? There's plenty of evidence of wiretapping. I went over this in my other video. I mean, you got the FISA requests. Hello. You've got an open admission that they were wiretapping. And the president, we found out, can legally wiretap anybody he fucking wants to. And then you also have the WikiLeaks. Nobody's talking about WikiLeaks Vault 7, which says that they can spy on us through our freaking TVs and telephones.
You also consider yourself pro-choice, which is interesting to me because 68% of conservative Republicans
You're pro-choice?
think that abortion should be illegal across the board.
No, I'm pro-choice, and here's why. I am a constitutional, someone that loves the Constitution. I am someone that's for limited government, and so I can't sit here and be a hypocrite and say I'm for limited government, but I think that the government should decide what women do with their bodies. I can sit here and say that as a Republican, and I can say, you know what, I'm for limited government, so stay out of my guns, and you can stay out of my body as well. So I think it's...
Good for you, Tomi, because I too am pro-choice. Nobody is telling you that you have to have an abortion. It is your choice. This is a losing argument. This is a mistake that I see on the right-wing media. They're trying to, praise God and bring in religion and talk about abortion. Abortion is not a topic of discussion. It is not an issue, but I see it all the time. Conservatives bringing up abortions and saying, abortion, we got to overturn it. No, we don't. That's a waste of time, and you're going to lose. These Bible thumpers. And I see them all the time talking about babies, how they, you gotta have a baby. But it seems like, they don't give a shit about that baby when it grows up. They have puppy syndrome. It's, it's all cute and everything when it's a puppy, but you don't give a shit about it when it grows up. We got a lot of homeless people out on the street. We got veterans that aren't even getting the care that they need. Why don't you worry about the people that are actually in existence? I don't think abortion should be the first choice. I think there's a bunch of other stuff that has to be done, and abortion should be the last choice. But that option should still be there, and I think it should be limited to only being in the first trimester. There's a small open window to where you can have an abortion where the zygote is the size of a pea. And that should be it. But once you get past a certain stage, I don't think you should be allowed to have an abortion unless it's some kind of medical emergency. But the choice, abortion should be legal. It should be everywhere. And that choice is up to the individual. It is not up to someone else to tell anybody else what they can or cannot do with their body. And yes, you're talking about, creation of life and all that, but come on, give me a break. Give me a break. No one is telling you, the conservative, that you have to have an abortion.
I do every day. And I get a lot of attacks from conservative women as well.
What I do under fair use, that is give commentary, parody, critique, throwing out criticism. This is all legal. This is all part of fair use. And that's what I do. And that's what a lot of people do. What I don't understand, okay, YouTube, Google, ABC, if you want to claim copyright infringement or whatever bullshit that you have. Right now, there's this same video, not from you, but somebody copied it, posted up, Tomi Lahren talking, blah, blah, blah. It's on trending right now. I believe it's number 17 on trending. There is no criticism. There is no comment. It's just a straight up copy of your video. That should be copyright infringement. Not what I'm doing, not what a lot of other people do, and that is give commentary. That is not a copyright infringement. That all falls under fair use. But these other videos that you see all the time, even there's 2 videos right now that are currently on the trending list, and they're just straight up copies of the original. No commentary, no criticism, no parody, nothing. And yet they're allowed to be, up, posted. But, a lot of my videos have been blocked, banned worldwide. So these other videos that are straight up copying your content, why don't you get on their ass? And stay off of mine, because I'm doing everything under fair use.